All right, so welcome back. I might have to split this up into two videos because the first one took an hour to get through because of my incessant rambling. However, I don't want to make stuff scripted. I don't want to be um, short, sharp, and concise because this topic of the human condition is you're dealing with however long Homo sapiens have been in existence, you're dealing with that length of time, and it's not going to fit into 5 minutes. So I'll work out how I title it. I'm not going to do, I don't think I'm going to do here's an intro to it. This will be the intro to part two of Dismissive Avoidant. And you can refer part one if you want to get the preamble. So we will look at case study number two of real life experience of me and the adventures of being on dating sites. So I started talking about this woman in the other one. So you'll work it out that I'm not going to do a preamble on that. I might put a link in part two, whatever. So this woman, classic textbook dismissive avoidant. Okay, so how she sees herself on the dating site. Member overview. The red rose whispers of passion, and the white rose breathes of love. Oh, the red rose is a falcon, and the white rose is a dove. But I send you a cream white rosebud with a flush on its petal tips. But the love that is purest and sweetest has a kiss of desire on the lips. Seeking this woman is seeking. This is written on the profile. I'm reading straight off the profile. A pleasant relationship. Okay? She looks in the mirror and goes, I'll put a romantic poem up because, that's me. That's me. And what do I want? I just want a pleasant relationship. I just want pleasant. Maybe the dictionary has a different definition of pleasant in it. So what happened? Why am I prattling on? Why am I reading this out to you? Because I need to find here is someone seeking a pleasant relationship. Here is someone with a romantic poem on her profile. And here is that same person. So she's liked my profile. I've looked at her and gone, not physically attracted to her, not my type. How dare I have a type? I'm just this lowly male. You should be just thankful for any woman that breathes in your space because that's the way it is, right? So we had an exchange where she's liked my profile. I've done nothing I've not initiated this contact. This is why I'm reading this out, because I'm sitting here minding my own business and I get a like on a profile. Generally, if you like a profile, you'd like to assume they've read it and had a look, but clearly not. So maybe the cat ran across the keyboard. So maybe the parrot pecked on a key. Maybe the dog put its paw there. Maybe it wasn't her at all that liked the profile. So I wrote to her and said, hi, how are you? And then I get and this is in the other video, but why do you have long dyed hair at your age? It is not attractive, And I was like, well, I happen to like it. It's the music I grew up with. I've been with some women who absolutely loved my hair. So I just think if it's your issue, you don't have an issue with my hair. I don't have an issue with your body. Oh my God, I don't like the way you look at all. I don't have an opinion. Because I'm in a democratic society. I'm allowed to have an opinion, can't I? So this is the exchange, people. So sit down with your beer, your vodka, your orange juice, your tea, your coffee, and buckle in. This is a rough ride. So how do we start it? There's some preamble. Sorry, there's something above. Um, Sorry, that was the last case study. This one, letter reading. So transcript verbatim. So this is from a WhatsApp chat, and you can export WhatsApp if you ever need to do it. If you find your loved one and you have to do migration, you can export your WhatsApp chat into a text document, which is what I've done here. So I'm reading off this. So she sent me some photos of herself, and I still wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't overly impressed. All right. So we had a bit of that altercation, right? And then for whatever reason, she wanted to engage further. After telling me I'm basically unattractive to her, she continued the conversation. There's some stuff in this I might have to censor. So me being a little bit people pleaser, don't really launch into a tirade. I've got to get pushed pretty hard before I push back. And even then, I really just would rather have a secure attached view and go, let's agree to disagree. But everyone needs to feel the right to be self-important and correct. So they just have to desperately hang on to being right no matter how wrong they are. So I make a comment on her. She sent me some photos and she actually looks okay in some of the photos. So I am sarcastic, right? I am, because clearly I'm sarcastic. I'm like, if you're going to level an attack at me, I'll respond in. If that's your language, I'll speak your language. So I've already been told I'm unattractive, and why, as an old dinosaur, would I have long hair and diet? Even worse. So I said, oh, you look better in those photos you sent me than what you do in your profile. And I think I said I took one yesterday of my horrible, non-sexy, red dyed hair before I made it black. So I said she was a brave woman to, I said I respected her. I said, you know, you told me you don't like me, but then you still want to communicate. I thought, I'm not going to be insulting or stupid. She's probably not stupid at all. But I'm not going to say you're brave or stupid. So I said you're brave. She goes, I like you. So I'm going to read with what I think her tone is. No, I'm not brave. I'm consistent. And you wrote me your number. I answered. So she sent me photos. And I don't know, the YouTube channel must have come up somewhere. So I'll send you a link to me. Not this one, another one. So here we come in with someone's romantic poem wanting a pleasant relationship. So this is how she has a pleasant relationship. Okay. Sorry, I just have to mess with my ugly, horrible hair. So, you know, not Ozzy Osbourne. I think men who dye their hair later in life have mental problems. Sorry, think about it. Why am I laughing? Because you actually measured me up to be marriage material later on in the chat. This is why I've had to read this out. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, people. I'm not going to find a woman who I just find repulsive. I'm sorry. Not attracted to me and seek out correspondence with the woman. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to find a woman who's the complete opposite, what I find attractive, and engage in a conversation, because I wouldn't want to waste her time and wouldn't want to waste my time. That's the reason I laugh. It's because this woman's saying I'm horribly unattractive, but then thinks about, should I marry this? I'm sorry, I can't think with it. I mean, maybe if you want to explain why someone does this, I'd love to hear why this conversation even exists. Oh, that's right. I wanted to engage in a Slavic conversation. So what did I say? I wanted some clarity on something. Someone told me that my partner made the decisions but asked my opinion. I struggle with a Western mind thing. I brought it up before, right? I've got to go into it because it's the reason I asked. So I was trying to work out, does that mean if the guy goes, tonight we're going to eat Georgian food, the wife says, but I want to eat traditional Russian food. Does the man who making decisions say, well, we'll have Russian food next week, let's go to a Georgian restaurant? Or does he go, thank you for your opinion, okay, we'll go and have Russian food? I've been told, and it's covered in the VK points, that the Russian woman lets the man, not just exclusively Russian women at all, it definitely happens over here. The women let you think you run the household, but they run the household. Okay. So I asked her this. And I also said, have you heard, I let my partner make the decisions, but he asked my opinion. Have you heard the expression, the man's the head of the family, a woman's the neck? Completely dismisses anything I have to say in the conversation. She then just talks about herself because, she's the one that's important. But she wants the pleasant relationship, right? And she's incredibly romantic. Just read that poem. She just dismisses that. So she goes, I want to find a good man for a relationship and a real meeting next month. If our plans do not coincide, there's no point in exchanging photos and messages, no inspiration for empty chatter. And think about profile. What she wants? She wants a pleasant relationship. Okay, so this is how she talks. Me, I work in, you can know this, I work in mental health. And then also, I'm a bit of a rebel. Sorry, sarcasm. I actually tell them this. I put it out there. People. I hide next to nothing about myself, and it takes people knowing as I have too much information. But when I tell them, and it comes up later, I don't know this about it. I put my cards on. This is me. You don't like it, there's the door. Just go walk out the door. If anything I tell you is difficult, why can't we all be like that? Why don't you just go, not into intimacy, hate rock music, I think the president of USA is okay. Tell everyone, put it out there, and you go, well, I don't think that, and I don't think that. And as much as you're an amazing looking person, I'm out the door. So imagine the time that was saved. So don't be on your best behaviour, don't. Don't be on your worst behaviour. Don't take you at your worst. You're in. It's like, it's not going to be a problem. Don't pretend. It's like, oh, what was it? Sorry, when I said that, I read the funniest comment the other day. The funniest comment. It was, some mothers go, so this is a tangent. So this is Yeah, I won't go away to be on much, will I? I said, um, whatever you want to think, go ahead and think it. I've got to tell you this because it just made me laugh. It was on my hero's channel, and it was like this person wrote and said, "My mother always said for me to wear clean underwear in case I was run over." And then it would be discovered that I wore clean underwear every day and wasn't some unwashed filth from the street. I came from a respectable family. This guy then took the mickey and said, "I was so glad mum told me." But when I was run over, I was so relieved that had been wearing clean underwear. I mean, it's just the absurdity of pretense, right? It's just highlighting how ridiculous some things are that are like handed down generation to generation. So I've gone, I'm anti-establishment, and that is all. I don't want to be. I know I will be lampooned for saying this. I don't want to be a mindless sheep and follow the herd, but that's a video and another channel for another day. So I then say, I cannot possibly fly out next month. I was planning a trip to, back in that time, to Russia and Kazakhstan later in the year. Then I go, "You don't even like me. Why would you want to meet me?" Then the one goes, then this woman, "A little meeting is better than a long exchange of messages anyway." You are, I'm sorry, I just have to collect myself. I've already been told that I have mental problems and I'm unattractive. So I'm having trouble understanding why this message was written. I just have, it's just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm told after being mentally ill and unattractive, I'm told, "You are a creative person. Write about your education and family." I'm like, why do you want to know this stuff? So what do? I go, diplomas in counselling, mental health, community services, mental health first aid course, registered the counsellor. Then another time I worked in construction as a qualified tradesperson, completing a TESOL course. I got one living sister, nieces, my parents passed. And I started to be my usual annoying self. I made a comment, I'm not going to read it out because I was in anxious attachment mode and like taking it on. So I get this fact. It's impossible to be a psychiatrist and a builder at the same time. Looks like a one-time temporary job and it's not professional. We'll just discount decades of working on building sites. So that never happened. It's just in my crazy head. I didn't work on that cricket ground down the road. So, because she says so. It's got to be true. The woman's saying. So anyway, I tried to clarify that I was in construction up to the global financial crisis and then went back to study. Then I commented on some of the photos. She actually looked all right. And I said, I sort of joked, I said, "Stop putting up photos of you looking so good. I might end up falling in love with you." It's a joke. And she actually deleted photos. And I said, so there's some blah, blah, blah. And then we go, "Oh, that's right. Does she say it in this?" She actually posted a photo saying, I don't know if it's here. But what happened was she posted a photo of a guy with a shaved head and a baseball cap. And she said, we need to do a complete makeover on you. And posted this photo of a guy that had shaved all the hair off his head, had a baseball cap on, was like in a sports jersey thing. And she goes, we need to do this with you. And I'm like, all right, this is not going to happen. So I go, Slavic tradition that the woman looks after the man. A friend of mine in Ukraine said he cannot leave the house without the approval of his wife. He goes, I'm not in Ukraine, I'm in Russia. And I have Chinese, if this means anything, I have Chinese roots in my family tree. I sort of try to lighten the mood, you're what we call sassy, full of spirit. I said, I know you live in Russia, I read your profile. How dare I actually read profile of someone I'm going to contact? She sends me, she's in a city that I can't pronounce because I'm just a dumb English-speaking person who can't read Russian very well. Is it Omsk? OMSK? Beautiful city. Send me a photo. Architecture, stunning in Slavic countries. You don't see it like other places. So impressive. I love the architecture. I go, oh wow. She goes, oh, that's right. So she says she has a child. So I try to connect and go, is it son or daughter? And she says she plays golf. Then I get smart and go, some people do. Like I was the honest, I do. And then I say I went to Aussie Tribute last Saturday. It might have been after he passed, actually. So I said, what's the cost of living in your city? I was going to move to another Slavic country because it's so affordable. She goes, I don't know if I should read this, but she goes, someone you know lives in that country. That's why you joined as a country. She actually likes the country I mentioned, but the unique country, clean cities, quality products, high moral and spiritual level of people. It is. I'll tell you what country it was, Belarus. Amazing. She says she's been to Belarus many times and says the president of Belarus is God. There you go. Little tidbits, and you'll slowly piece together who I am and what my experiences are. And I'm not going to hide them. So there you go. Love Belarus immensely. So I go, how long have you been divorced? How do you find a dating site? I said, I've had enough. There's too many scammers. Yeah, tidbit of information. So this is from a little bit of research. I say, do you know that men receive 70% of emails are scammers? So have pity on us women on dating sites. You get to have real men talk to you, and it's superficial stuff of like, you're hot, you're beautiful, la, 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 all that stuff. Do you want a photo of genitalia, says the men? And the women are like, no, keep it yourself. But you women have to put up with real men being obnoxious. We have to put up with obnoxious scammers who aren't even real people, who are women, who are men pretending to be women to scam you out of money. So, for the men, 3 out of 10 women are real, and then we have to wade through 3 women with attachment style issues, psychological issues, and all other human conditions. So apparently 90% of messages to women are from real men, but are superficial. So I was in a relationship with a Belarusian woman who had attachment style issues. I'm not going to go into it. You'll work it out. Maybe the question at the end of this YouTube channel is, have you worked what the attachment style was? So I try to rationalize that this relationship took a hiatus. So, she puts, I wish I could translate this. She puts something about, I might have to stop and translate this. She put something about don't talk to strangers or something. And sorry, I can't translate it, but I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read the Russian. It is disrespectful to Russian language, my pronunciation of it. So I said, what do you think you're doing now? She said something about don't talk to strangers, but anyway. So I said, why do you, I'm sorry, this wasn't a nice thing to do because I called her out as dismissive at the start. But it was a bit for research. So why is such a beautifully stunning, intelligent woman such as yourself single? You must have men falling at your feet. I'm sorry, that was sarcasm. So, then because I talked about attachment style of the hiatus relationship or the ended relationship, whatever you want to call it, and then I did the research. She not interested in attachment style because then she'd have to confront she's dismissive avoidant, which isn't a nice thing to admit to, right? You don't really want to go, I'm a cold, unemotional, wet fish. You really don't have to sit there and say that about yourself. So you're not going to buy into attachment style and dismissive because you are actually dismissive. So we won't go into warm, fuzzy feeling emotions here, okay? So she sent me a photo, which I don't know if it was real, but she goes, yes, this is the woman with the romantic home who wants a pleasant relationship, who does nothing but slander and insult and criticize me, but still holds me up as a possible husband. I'm sorry, I can't think with it. It doesn't make sense to me. She goes, yes, men fall at my feet and send me flowers. Do you give flowers to women? Question mark, question mark, question mark, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Just don't tell me you prefer flowers in a flower bed. Two sad faces. Please have pity on the men and women of the world. Please understand that this is what we put up with from a dating site. This is all real. I'm not making any of it up. And so I talked about this woman. I'm not going to bring up really deep personal stuff, but there was the anxious attachment bonding. I won't go into it, but the fearful avoidant, go back and look at fearful avoidant and what happens of the craving intimacy and the wanting the love and the finding someone and what happens in that month before deactivation. Go back to the video on fearful avoidant. I'm not going through it here. This is getting a little bit too much information for you. So she dismisses that I worked at the attachment style and why things happen. So she doesn't want to know about that because she's dismissive. So I go, yeah, I send flowers to women. I blah, blah, blah. So I then go into statistical data, researched statistical data, okay? And watch what happens. Listen what happens. I go, did you know? This is me. Did you know that Russia has one of the highest divorce rates in the world? And then I reference an article and I go, common causes of conflict. According to a public opinion poll, the most common reasons given for divorce are infidelity, 24%, poverty, 21%, and the inability to compromise or communicate effectively, 19%. Alcoholism and drug abuse are also significant factors, 16%. Now, I don't think that adds up to 100%. So that was a pretty poor effort on my part. So she doesn't want to talk about that because she's dismissive. So she goes, I read a lot of articles and information on YouTube that Australia is number one in pedophilia and perverts. A couple of years ago, a guy from Perth wrote to me and asked me about my children. Hey, I don't want to pay you. And you don't think you ever wanted in life, but you just have to take a polite question about your children. Actually, I don't know what the question was. Okay, speculation. And then I go, I'm not going to defend this country. Yes, come at me. Is it ever stick up for the country I was born in? How dare be a nationalistic patriot? Well, I'm not. Get over it. So I am not a huge fan of this country. You don't have to tell me how bad it is. And I said, we have a big rape culture as well. There was actually a television series called Dumb, Drunk and Racist. It was a television show. And so, and I'm a stinking Lenin Marxist communist as well. This is Go and hate me. It's a democracy. So she goes to me, oh no, look, I was wrong. She addressed that information on the divorce rate. This is fake information and who can check it? Times have changed. The institution of marriage in Russia is now a very high priority. All right, let's call out the BS right now. Let's just look at what this woman's opinion is. The institution of marriage in Russia is now a very high priority. Where in the world has she got that from? Because I wish that were true. I would love for that to be true. It would make my job in finding someone so much easier. But it is not true. You have your independence, women of the world. You don't want the man. You don't need the man. Why are you looking for a man? I still don't know. Tell me in the comments. It's like, I say, still haven't found your prince? ? I said, I challenged her. I said, it's not. Your concept of institutional marriage in Russia is a very high priority. I said, it's not. It's not. Go look it up. You're in the top 10 countries in the world. Stop fooling yourself. You probably don't think you have a high suicide rate either. Then I quote divorce rates. So this source lists Russia as having a divorce rate of 3.9% every 1,000 people, placing it among the countries with the highest divorce rates globally. The article also notes that in Eastern Europe, including Russia, high divorce rates attributed to factors like the low cost of the divorce process, financial instability, alcoholism. Then I source another one. I'm not going to read it out. You can go look this up. So a study analyzed 100 countries, states Russia has a high divorce rate of 74%. 74%, people. It's way higher than a lot of other countries. Meaning more than 3/4 of marriages end up in breakup. It suggests that economic instability is a key factor. Why do we bother? Why do we walk down the aisle and say the vows? think 1 in 4 marriages will last, and then there's nothing to say they'll be happy. So there's another article, Reddit. Okay, pretty lousy sort of information in a conversation, 70%. So she 100% dismisses. She doesn't respond to my conversation because it's all about her. She dismisses my conversation. Tell me better. Why is Australia populated only along the coastline? Why is there nothing inside Australia? Send me a photo of your city and the view from your window. Thank you. But thank you. I could fall off my chair. It's like, where does this politeness come from? Then I think I'll actually go ahead and comply. I do that. I even took a photo out the window. I send her some information. Then I go back to what she's ignored. According to multiple reliable sources, Russia has historically had a high suicide rate, though it's been declining in recent years. Oh, how dare I quoted WHO. Okay, so, yeah. Sorry, it's all out, I quoted the World Health Organization on something. So then I quote that on suicide rate, and as she says it's declining, it's believed to be connected to a decrease in per capita alcohol consumption. Despite the decline, this is old information, 2016, showed Europe is a region having higher than average male suicide rates, and Russia has historically been a significant contributor to the statistic, if you want to pronounce correctly. So I answer her question because I'm that sort of a person, because I can listen and comprehend, because I'm not dismissive avoidant. You haven't worked that out. Australia's population is concentrated along the coastline due to a combination of geographical, historical, economic factors. The vast interior, known as the outback, has a very low population density because it's largely made up of deserts and semi-arid land. This makes it difficult to sustain large-scale settlement. And then I actually said something derogatory about Australia. So I'm sure I'll be beaten to death in the street, so you don't have to worry about the next video. Probably die before the end of the day if anyone watches this. Actually, I don't watch this because it's programmed a week ahead. So, she goes, they are hostile resources with rotten information about my country. Do you want me to block you for information? The World Health Organization is a criminal network for controlling people. And first of all, it's and first of all, it is money laundering. You're annoying me. You're not right with this nonsense. You're uneducated. Oh. I'll go out the back and eat some grass after this. So, well, do you think the Russian government will accurately report divorce rates? Did you look it up? What did you find? I have had Belarusian and Russian women tell me literally every second woman they know went through an abusive relationship. I said, I can show you chats from them. I said, tell me what you think is a reliable source. I'm asking you, I want to engage in a healthy, respectable debate here. And said, if I'm wrong, I'm happy to say I'm wrong. I would really like to be wrong. I think. I said, I said, show me. I wanted her to read her resource on divorce rates in Russia. Of course, I didn't get it. Then I start being smart. And then I overstep the mark and I go into my knowledge of psychology. And I said, do you know what cognitive dissonance and the Dunning-Kruger effect are and Freud's psychological projection are? I said, ever worked out your attachment style? Then I've gone look up federal stats. I think she so I think she disappeared from now. She disappeared. So I got an analysis of it, of the chat. So here we go, people. So there's the chat. Okay, so you can throw a chat. By the way, you can, if you are worried about someone and you go, is it me or is it them? You can get their chat, put it into some AI if you feel competent. You know, find one you're happy with. You can put it in and it'll critique it for you. So here's a critique. Let's all do this because this is where I garnish some information from. So I put it in the so here we go. Oh no, this isn't it. Sorry. So this goes on to the next bit. I won't read that out. Okay, so there you go. That's that. Let's move to the next bit. So this, I think, is number 3 in the thing. We're going to talk about dismissive. We're going to talk about dismissive avoidant and the reaction to a text message. I like to use as examples text messaging, okay, or social media messaging, whatever you want to call it. It's a really good cornerstone to help you work out your partner's attachment style. It's not like foolproof. Don't just go off your text messaging and go, because they took a long time to message back, they're dismissive. Don't do that. This is just one part of it. It's an example. Send a text message, how are you? Yeah. Secure to secure. You text, how's your day? No reply for 2 to 3 hours. You're in a voice. They're probably busy. They'll get back to me. When they reply, you answer normally. No story making, no panic. Okay. Anxious, preoccupied. You text, how's your day? 5 to 10 minutes pass. Your inner spiral starts. Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? Are they with someone else? Did I upset them? And you can sort of go, did they leave me? Have they stopped loving me? If unregulated, you might send another text as a protest message. Guess you're too busy for me. If regulated, they care about me. I'll wait. All right. Dismissive avoidant. You text, hey, how's your day? No reply comes in. Your interior response is blunted. They'll answer when they answer. You might even mute the thread. Closeness registers of pressure. When you do respond, it's brief, factual, low emotion. If you receive multiple follow-ups, you may withdraw further. Too much drama. So, fearful avoidant. You text, hey, how's your day? No reply. The anxious part lights up. Anxious, preoccupied, did I mess this up? You want closeness badly, but you fear it will vanish. No strong bids for reassurance can appear. Oh, yeah, okay. Fearful, anxious when they're anxious. So they mirror the anxious attachment. They get worried if they don't get the answer back. Fearful avoidant. When in deactivation, same text, no reply, protective shutdown flips on. Closeness is dangerous. If I need less, I can't be hurt. So they go cold, offline, deactivate. So It can look like dismissive avoidant, but the motive's different. One's protecting, numbing. The other is deprioritization of intimacy. So we'll just finish this. We'll finish this video off, okay? So this is short form. I wanted to go into it deeper, and I may revisit it. So compatibility map expanded, compatibility map expanded, practical. Secure person, easiest path, steady repair, low reactivity, high warmth. What helps? Keep doing what works, clear bids, quick repairs, shared routines. So I'll expand. Secure. You watch your parents grow up, love each other, nurture, needs met. You're secure. You go, I'm happily married. The wife is off doing what she does. We'll meet up for dinner. She'll come home. She still loves me. Everything's fine. It's the same as it was yesterday and the day before and the day after. Not much changes. For some people, it's a bit boring, right? Some dismissive avoidants actually find secure people boring. Says, there's no excitement here. They're reliable. So, secure with an anxious, okay? Often very workable. What helps? Consistent reassurance, clear plans, explicit invitations to express needs. Look out for the anxious partners, protest behaviors, secure partners, fatigue, solve with structure and check-ins. So if you need more clarity on this, you can just ask. And I mean, no one's going to write in anyway. I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to answer questions. So, secure, dismissive, workable with patience. What helps? Autonomy respected, schedule, connection windows, low drama, high clarity request. Look out for the pursuer, withdrawer loop. Secure becomes pursuer. Right. Agree on minimum relational rituals. Lightly check-in. Secure with a fearful avoidant. Workable can be healing. I'm sort of familiar with this. So what helps? Name the flip. Are they anxious? Are they deactivated? Create a safe out ritual. I'm overwhelmed, back in 24 hours. So anxious, possible but volatile. What helps? Shared structure, texts are known times, co-regulation skills, therapy, boundaries around protest behavior. Dismissive to dismissive. Often low conflict roommates rather than intimacy. Why it can work? Expectation align. Independence, limited contact. Why it often stalls. Low vulnerability and minimal bonding over time. And this is what I've been highlighting. There's no emotional contact in it. So if they want intimacy, schedule closeness, explicit emotional sharing, prompts and agreements not to disappear. The anxious with the dismissive, the classic pursuer withdrawal trap. What helps? 2-column contract. When I need space, I will say X and return by Y. When I feel panic, I will use Z. Skill and not send multiple texts. Shared therapy helps immediately. All right, so I don't know why an anxious would want to be with a dismissive, but if they are, maybe just incredibly attracted to them, you have to then learn, and that's hard for an anxious attachment who craves intimacy, will have to step back on, but it will help them learn to pull back and give space. So anxious and fearful avoidant can be intense chemistry with whiplash. What helps? Naming the deactivation cycle. Timed breaks with guaranteed return. Trauma-informed couples work. fearful avoidant and fearful avoidant. This will be interesting. Double or highly volatile, let's say, double volatility. Trauma. So both flip states. What helps? Slow pacing, external scaffolding, meaning building, calendar rituals, trauma work for both. And I was going to reference films. So here's that dismissive avoidant in film anchors. Dismissive avoidant in film quick anchors. So I don't even know if I know any of these films. Oh, The Crown. Perfect. Lost in translation. Intimate distance connection without commitment. Revolutionary road. Domestic performance. Avoidance of vulnerable truth. Marriage story. Legalistic problem solving over emotional repair. In the mood for love. Yearning kept at arm's length. Intimacy postponed into fantasy. A movie called Her. Safety with a non-bodied partner. Control without messy proximity. Now, I like this one. The Crown, Charles and Diana. Duty, protocol, unavoidant, misattunement. Perfect example of that. Think of royalty, where it's dismissive, right? It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage of social status. So onto attachment style versus narcissism, because I'm led to believe a lot of dismissive avoidants actually have a lot of narcissistic traits. I'm not saying they are narcissistic people. I'm saying they carry the traits. They wear it on their sleeve. So, key point, attachment styles describe regulation strategies and closeness. Narcissistic traits, disorders describe patterns of self-focus, empathy, impairment, grandiosity, or vulnerability. They can overlap but are not the same construct. And this is where we got to nuance it deeply. When you're fearful avoidant is in deactivation, they are not a dismissive person who is unemotional. They are overly emotional. So anxious, preoccupied, vulnerable narcissism overlap risk. A vulnerable narcissism equals a sensitivity to rejection, approval seeking, fluctuating self-esteem, resentment when needs feel unmet. Some anxious protest behaviors can look like this, meaning narcissism, right? Angry birds for reassurance, example. But in an anxious person who self-regulates, retaliate is not being narcissistic. Dismissive avoidant and grandiose narcissism. Think about that. The dismissive thinks they're amazing. That's narcissism. So, because what's the difference? You could be amazing, told you're amazing, and be humble. Go, no, I'm just me. That's the difference. You don't go, well, thanks for telling me that, but I know. That's narcissism, all right? So, dismissive avoidant, grandiose narcissism overlap risk. Dismissive devalues closeness and may downplay others' needs. They can mimic grandiose traits, low empathy, display. Empathy is your key word here. Empathy is what you can use to label the attachment style. If they don't care, they're not secure. If they don't care, they're not anxious. If they don't care, they are dismissive, and if the fearful avoidance and deactivation, it can be them, but they're not being dismissive, they're protecting themselves. It's different. Very, very different. So, let me get through this. So, they feel superior, self-sufficient as identity, overlap risk is high in presentation. Dismissive avoidant can very much have narcissistic personality disorder. It says here many dismissive avoidants are ethical. I need more research on that. Kind and simply, this is AI, it's messed up. Simply intimacy avoidant. All right, fearful avoidant can look selfish during deactivation, sudden distance, but the driver is threat, overwhelm, not entitlement, overlap. With narcissism, it's generally lower in core motive. The hurt they cause is real, but the engine is fear. Bottom line, don't diagnose if the impact feels narcissist, coldness, cruelty, address the boundaries and safety, but when you seek to heal, treat attachment wounds as regulation issues first, escalate the personality structure. All right, so can we finish on that? We can finish on that. So, this is a pre-log to another video I'll do. 100 Years of Stoicism, long-form thesis, core claim, a century of Stoicism, meaning emphasizing on not being emotional shutdown of strength through wars, scarcity, repression, social scripts has produced generations who mistake willingness for resilience. The price is intimacy. Many women and men can function but cannot partner. So, the highlights are emotional literacy was never taught, pain was swallowed. Attachment needs were mocked, don't be weak, so closeness feels unsafe or shameful. How dare you be close? How dare you feel something that's not our people? Relationship becomes transactional. Really? Do we see that everywhere now? Not everywhere, but it's a dominating thing now. What can you do for me? They don't go and say, I reckon I'd be a pretty okay partner. I can love, I can feel, I can cook, I'm not drunk, I'm not an addict, I don't swear. You know, whoever's saying this, you know, the women can be like, I like to look attractive for a man, and I embrace my femininity, and I enjoy good conversation, and I think I have something to offer. It's not what can I get from them? What do you have to offer me? It's not an appealing characteristic. So, back to the Stoicism thing. So, yep, relationship becomes transactional, roles over feelings, status over repair, control over vulnerability. When love appears, it triggers old alarms. Avoidance call it too much and flee. The anxious panic and pursue. The fearful flip between both. Why it matters now. Will I get t-shirts made up with this on? I'm joking. The myth that a unicorn partner won't trigger me keeps people single and cycling. The real work is tolerating the triggers and repairing together. We are one species. Nobody's trigger-proof. So, stop calling trauma strength. Start practicing connection skills and honor the partners who try